I'm not gonna get to finish my thought.
Welcome welcome all to episode 282 of the Xbox Expansion Pass, recorded on Saturday, July 19th, 2025. I'm your host, Luke Lohr, the Insipid Ghost, joined by my co-host, the intrepid Captain Logun. Today, we are asking the simple questions and wondering aloud just how Xbox is doing. We've heard a lot of Xbox is dead, got a lot of evidence to say otherwise. It has been an extraordinary and extraordinary year for Xbox. So we're going to be just taking a look at where everything falls and on which side of the fence it is. We'll be breaking it down here in just a moment. Logan, we like to start the show by offering words of kindness to those who have made our gaming weeks better. But first, how are you, my friend?
I am doing well. I am working as usual, but I've not been able to game. I have been able to game, but I can't talk about what I've been gaming. I'm on NDA at the moment. We've got a game that's going to be coming out. Yeah, there's a redacted that I'm playing. It's can't say anything about now that I was thinking I could talk about like if I'm enjoying it or if I'm not enjoying it. No, that's not how NDAs work. So I'm playing game and review will be out by the end of the month for sure. And yeah, it's a game. It's a game. So I've been playing a game, and outside of that, I've been packing. That's a really weird way to say how my week is going. But yeah, I've been getting ready. Probably actually notice if you're watching the YouTube video version of it, my display case has been emptied. That will eventually get torn down and wrapped up and stuff as I try to consolidate all my crap into one U-Haul for a cross-country trip later this year.
Yeah, you are going on a journey, my friend. You are packing. You almost wish you could shrink some stuff down. Make it easier, don't you?
Honestly, with moving, I hate moving in general. Honestly, it's one of the few things that I've had to do a lot in my life, and I'm good at it now, but I don't want to. But there's definitely stuff where it's like if I could do the sword and the stone thing, where Merlin like does the hibbity bibbity bop thing and like gets all the little furniture into the little suitcase, I'd do that in a heartbeat. I don't know how many people I'd have to sacrifice to get it, but that would 100% be something I'd do.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would probably take you up on that too. We did a garage sale not too long ago, and I got rid of a lot of stuff, and it was great. It was a great. My wife struggles with ridding herself of things, and I'm like, get it all out, go. But I get it, man. Packing stuff.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of that. How about you? I heard you've been chasing children and getting hurt.
Yeah. Took a nasty injury last week that has only gotten worse. My left calf is strained and my right hamstring is strained, which is very, very painful on both sides. So my lower body, I just can't move. But I can like work out upper body core just fine. And like, I've been making some really cool gains, which is neat to see. But like, yeah, my strained my left calf, right hamstring. So walking is very difficult. Like it's frustrating because like I'll feel fine 1 second, and then the smallest movement, it's like a hot knife in both legs. And it's frustrating just because, I turned 40 this year. We talk about that a lot. And like, I feel like I can do things. I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm actually in very good shape, like in terms of like cardio and such. And it's gone. It's like I can't move. And so it's embarrassing to like want to play with the kiddos, because like this is my only time to enjoy some of them and before they have their season and stuff. And it's a bummer. So
yeah, it's a shame. Does your wife pick you up and carry you down the stairs?
She can't do anything, man, because of that arm surgery. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh man. So do you guys just like hobbling around the house being like, we're old?
I'm hobbling, but she can do like, it's funny because she can do some stuff just fine. But like other stuff, I really have to like come through for it. And so like in the beginning, of course, I was helping her get dressed and if she needed help showering, that stuff went away pretty quick. And then now it's funny stuff. Like she can make dinner, but I got to cut her chicken for her, like because the motion on the arm, just the little. It's funny. But that's like that's what partnership's about and stuff. And we're of course not going to give my words of kindness are to her actually, and to our puppy Callie-L, who is just doing. She's just doing great. She's a sweetheart. She's actually doing her longest stint in the crate ever right now. So we're on hour 3 because I'm up here doing notes and playing, and Hillary's with her breast cancer support group that she runs. And so it's good because we're training her, right?
Yeah.
But it's heartbreaking to see her in the crate, even though she's doing great with it. So
yeah.
But shout out to my puppy, Miss Callie-L, as it were. Yeah, man, it's been a good week despite the injuries. I knocked out some personal stuff, which was cool on the teaching side. So
you're working on getting some interviews for some stuff that's coming up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Actually, I have one confirmed for this week, which is a big deal related to Redacted. That one's really cool. I felt very honored because they approached us for that one, which was neat. And then I have another one, which I can say, like, I'm working on trying to get the King of Meat team from Amazon Games on.
Yeah.
We played their game at
you got to play the game. I missed out.
You started. That's right. Yeah. That was actually a really fun game. Like it shouldn't, like the name is so weird and you're like, what is this? And then we started playing and we started having a blast, yelling at Ains and stuff. It was fun.
Yeah. I wanted to jump in. I double booked, unfortunately, so I had to go off to go do Bounty Star. But that was a King of Meat. Looks like it'll be a fun game. So hopefully you guys will get the scheduling is always the issue, especially when you're looking at interviews with folks across the pond. That kind of stuff is always it's easier for you because it's like 5-hour difference. For me, it's like an 8-hour difference. So the only time I can ever get people on is like right after they get off work and I have to take like an hour off somewhere, or like late at night, or I have to stay up till midnight and hope that they wake up early.
Yeah. Early days of XEP, when it was just me, I was doing an interview a week, or like a show and an interview. And like, that's when you're really grinding. Right. And so like, there were some interviews where I was up at 2 a.m. my time to talk to some of the European people. I remember the Ukrainian developers, Frogware, like that, just to get them on was cool. But like I'll get up early to hear from you guys. But some of them I was just like, oh, hello, my name's Luke Lohr. So, hey, let's give a shout out to our chat. We got Nissa Hauer in the house. That's the #1 Winterboro fan. Gentle Stone is here. My boy Beans, X Bacon Gaming is in the house as well. The Nerd Chat is here, and of course the lovely A-Chick. I have watched lurked probably 3 different A-Chick streams in the past 2 weeks.
She's grinding hard.
Yeah, a lot of Sea of Thieves content, obviously, but I usually have her on in the background when I'm playing something.
Fun fact: she's participating in a charity event today. That'll be, I think, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, around that time.
Put the link in chat.
I'll have to grab the link because the floods in Texas. There's been a lot of stuff that's been going on with that. So unfortunately, it's one of those things where a lot of people were impacted. But one of the cool things about gaming is that a lot of gamers can tend to rally around. Coming together to actually, what's it called? Help raise money.
Support,
yeah.
We need to have A-Chick on sometime. I think.
Well, she wants to.
I think she'd be a wonderful third host. It'd be a good time. So
she's come on. She's come on to Keelhauled for the Gold Hoarder episodes from time to time. So always nice to chat to folks.
She strikes me as somebody that would be a very good podcast host.
Yeah,
she's
a good listener.
Well spoken, enjoyable. Yeah. All right, man. So those are our words of kindness this week. Oh no, those were my words of kindness. I'm sorry, we didn't mention yours because we talked about So I'll let you go ahead.
So I wanted to shout out Ty Guy Travis. IGN, Season Gaming, does a lot of reviews. Usually mentions like the mob variety. Usually criticizes games that he loves. And people usually come back to him and be like, "Why are you being so negative about this game? And you're supposed to like it, or you say you like it." And he reached out to me because we'd been talking quite a while about games just in general, and he reached out to me to offer me an opportunity to help him with Redacted. And that was one of those situations where I was like, dude, yeah, I'd totally love to help you out. I missed out on helping with the Dune game, the survival game that came out recently. And this time I actually have like availability to be able to jump in because I think last time I was working on the Tron review. So I didn't want to like take a code and be like, oh yeah, I'll totally help with this, 40-hour survival game when I'm in the middle of like working on a Tron review. So I didn't get to help out with that one, but I am helping out with another game that he was working on or has been working on. And we're both able to do our reviews as a result. So my review is going to be coming out later on this month. His is going to be coming out, I'm sure, at some point as well too. But it's been really nice to have him like reach out and just be like, "Hey, I need help with this. I know this is something we talked about in the past. Are you available to do that?" So I've been like, "Yeah, definitely." At some point, I'll keep packing and stuff and getting ready for the move, but I'll definitely jump in and burn some time helping out with that. So shout out to him for helping me. I'm looking forward to getting my thoughts out there and seeing what people think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because it's just something that I don't think many people have on their radar, and I'm looking forward to that.
And I hope they put it on there. I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
So
if I could, I'm sorry, please go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say thanks to Travis for reaching out and saying, "Hey, I need help. Would you be able to help?"
I want to also just echo what you're saying about Travis, because one of the things I enjoy about him is that not only is he intelligent, but I often disagree with Travis on little things. And every time I do, he's able to provide knowledgeable reasoning for why he feels the way he feels about something.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that, because I truly despise when you hear stances about something and people cannot provide reasoning for why.
Yeah.
Right. Perhaps it's my experience as an educator or in education in general, but when people give you unfounded reasoning, I very much get frustrated by that. And in the gaming space, people are like, I hate it because it's PlayStation. Shut up. No, I like it because Nintendo. No, not acceptable. And so I appreciate Travis as a good example of a reviewer that's steadfast in his position, knowledgeable about his content, and will defend it with logic and reasoning. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, one of the times where I'll sit there and say like you can disagree with Travis on a lot of his takes, because everyone has a basically like their own opinion on stuff. But this is one of those instances where like when you talk to him, he has he has the receipts to back it up. So even though he may come away with some really spicy takes or be more critical, I think, than more people in like IGN, more people would give games 7s. He's more willing to give like 5s and 6s if they warrant it, because he's speaking directly to the consumer aspect of it, where I think a lot of people are trying to like hype up content for the sake of getting like
Correct.
getting engagement.
All right, can't agree more. Alrighty, my friend. Let's see here. I think that knocks out our that does knock out our words of kindness here. I do want to give a quick thought briefly, because there's something I'll use the word working on, even though I've not worked on the actual project. I've been putting a lot of time in with the controller that I mentioned, I think last week, but I didn't have this like to show off, the Wolverine V3 Tournament Edition. This is the wired version of Razer's Wolverine controller. And I've been trying what you do, at least for me, with hardware, and I think you have the same mentality. You put in hours with it, right?
Oh yeah,
a lot of hours before you make the review, right? And so I've been putting in a lot of hours with this controller, both on my PC and on my Xbox. And I'm loving the Razer Wolverine V3. And it's right here. Actually, let me just show this bad boy off. I am just loving this controller. It is the wired version, which I thought would bother me a lot. But in actuality, the wire is very long and it kind of feels old school in some nostalgic ways, but it's very easy to use to just plug and play, go. Mm-hmm. I love this controller. And I can tell you that once the review comes out, which again, I'm putting in, I like to say I have had 50 or 100 hours. That's my goal usually. Or I can say 75 hours plus or 50 hours plus. I like to say that in my reviews.
Yeah.
And so I'm just putting in the time, but I will tell you what, this is the best controller I've ever used. Razer has bar none for me, topped the Xbox Elite controller by far. This is the best controller I've ever used. When we got to go hands-on with them at SGF, my eyes kind of lit up a little bit. My ears perked up when I saw their booth and we went over to their booth. I love this controller, and I can tell you that I will absolutely be just raving about it once the full review comes out, barring anything changing. So I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I shout out what I started in chat real quick.
Just a quick heads up. A-Chick and I met at Sea of Thieves Fest this day last year. It was kind of she approached me in a bar. That was a barcade, and we ended up talking about cats and cruises most of the night. So
there you go. Congratulations, buddy. Glad.
Thank you. So, but sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Getting back to what you were talking about with the Wolverine, the idea that third-party controllers have really kind of moved faster than first-party at this point is not surprising, because I feel like we've always kind of seen like third-party controllers test things that you don't normally do. I've been working through like Turtle Beach's line of controllers for a while with their Pivot and their Stealth Ultra Elite, and it definitely comes back to like the sentiment that I feel like a lot of us trust first party because it's first party, and don't really look at the boons or benefits that come with third party for effectively the same cost as an investment towards the higher end for first party controllers. And if you are looking for a controller that will be your main driver, that will be the replacement for your bumper breaking elites, this was something that I was thinking about today. It's interesting that not only has the Xbox controller like gear shop been down for quite a while at this point.
Not Gear Shop, Design Labs, but I know exactly what you mean. Design Labs, just in case somebody in chat or the comments wants to crucify.
True, they do have a gear shop, so I apologize, but I was thinking like the place where you make your gear.
Yeah, Design Labs, I got you.
But yeah, Design Labs has been shut down. I think it's closing in on at least 6 months that they've been down. Yeah. No word. We haven't seen really any kind of special controllers being released recently. And it's one of those situations.
Doom was the last one, I think.
Yes, Doom back in May was the last main one. I know we've seen like a couple one-offs for collector's editions or like preview things with Tony Hawk. But like for all intents and purposes, Xbox has kind of been mum when it comes to controllers, and it's weird because typically like they have one every couple of months, and with them being kind of like mum, this is a good opportunity for folks, if you're looking for a good replacement, to take into consideration like either Turtle Beach or Razer's controllers, and start trying to like, branch out from what you're normally used to when it comes to like controllers and first party versus third party.
One thing that really has made me evaluate and reevaluate, because we've got this Xbox handheld. Hey, Todd Oxter, good to see you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
We got this Xbox handheld coming out later this year, right? Yep. It's not the Xbox handheld, but it's an Xbox handheld, blah, 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 blah. And it really is going to be the culmination of a lot of conversations in the content creation space about OEMs, and essentially third-party manufacturers with first-party design. And using this Razer Elite, this Razer Wolverine V3 Tournament Edition, make sure I get that right. It's better than anything Xbox has ever made. And the Elite controller was good. Let's not sell that short, but those bumpers are a problem over time.
Yeah.
And the evidence mounted of flaws for long-term use, right? Or at least among the hardcore. And if you're going to spend $150 to $300 on a controller, then Razer to me is doing it far better. And if Razer can make the better controller, what does that mean for Asus making a handheld? Right? What does that mean? And I don't have an answer. I'm not wise enough to just know an answer, but it makes me think, okay, well, if this is what they're doing for a premium style controller, does Asus, can they do something with a premium style handheld console? Could they do it with a premium console itself? Can somebody out there make a better PlayStation? For sure. The thing's terribly designed. I truly think the PS5 is just not pleasant to look at, nor is it doesn't work with entertainment centers. There's a lot of like ergonomics that are just like, what are you doing here?
They purposefully made that thing so that you could not put it anywhere that you normally would have put a device. They wanted people to walk by and be like, "Oh, you have a PS5," and you're like, "Yeah, how'd you notice?"
It's something, man. It's something. But nonetheless, like my point is, I'm open to this idea as a result of using just better stuff. Now, I think a lot of people in the PC space will be like, yo, that's what a PC is. No problem. Respect it. I acknowledge it. The best handheld I've ever used is the Steam Deck, and I freaking love my Steam Deck. Saw a good sale by Wario64, thanks to Todd Oxter, by the way, on Steam Decks, which is cool. Makes you wonder if there's Steam Deck 2 or if they're trying to move stock or whatever it is. But I will tell you what, I absolutely am open to the idea of a third-party manufactured piece of hardware if it's going to improve the experience in a way that maybe I wasn't a year ago. And this Razer controller is just another example of why.
Yeah, I think with the handheld, it's really going to come down to those handles and how it feels. If it feels like an Xbox controller, that'll be the breaker for most folks, because I think the kind of like weird little plastic brick with a couple nubs for a lot of folks on handhelds right now is still not quite as comfortable as a lot of people tend to expect. And with Xbox touting years and years of like design improvements and tweaks to the Xbox controller itself to be able to like handle most shapes of people's hands, it's going to say a lot about if the Xbox handheld from or the Xbox Ally will be something that people will pick up and be like, okay, this feels familiar enough that I would actually consider using it. Because I think that was what sold the Portal for PlayStation, was that it was effectively just a PS5 controller, the DualSense, just with a screen in between.
Yeah. It has been very evident since we got Callie and since I've been helping my wife that like I'm downstairs a lot more. So I'm using my Steam Deck a lot more. I'm not on my console as much. And it's just it pisses me off when I'm on this great handheld device and I can't access my saves because they're on a different platform.
Yeah.
So it's just like, come on, man. First of all, Steam Deck, figure it out. Like you better jump on that multi SKU, access other stores easily.
Is that quickly. Steam or is that Xbox?
Xbox wants their stuff everywhere. They're absolutely a Steam.
But they want you to buy cloud saves through Game Pass.
No, what I'm saying is Steam Deck for me is the best storefront and hub and gaming that I've ever seen, right? Like just using the Steam Deck, like just going in on the Steam Deck is just it's perfect. It just is perfect. It's better than Xbox. It's better than the PlayStation UI. It's better than the Switch UI. It's the best I've ever seen.
Okay.
They need an ability to just go into your Xbox games on Steam Deck before this Ally arrives. That's what I'm saying. Like there needs to be a way to access that library. And with Xbox soon allowing all libraries via their device, my thought is Steam needs to get on board with that. And I don't know the financials. I'm saying on the consumer side, like there's a way.
Yeah.
It's not like there's a ton of Steam Decks out there. Like
I think that is so okay. So that kind of ties into like the state of Xbox, right? Because right now it feels very much like when Xbox lost the digital game library war with PlayStation. Their solution was Game Pass. Now that they've lost like the actual console hardware war, they're looking to shove everything everywhere, right? And I think that that's Xbox needing to do this, whereas I don't think anybody needs Steam to do this. I think this is Xbox fans wishing that they had access to stuff that they've already bought without having to buy it again through Steam.
Could be bluntly, very much could be. And we're talking about like the state of Xbox and Christopher Dring saying Xbox is dead, and then you've got all these
it's 100% dead. It's been dead since before ABK deal. Yeah.
Well, I think the Xbox is going to be dead, but Xbox is fine. And I genuinely get very frustrated because for my money, they really botched the delivery of messaging with the Xbox in the last generation. I really think they botched it. I have no qualms with that. Well, wrong and stay wrong. I don't know. Like, they had so much value to offer, and they just had the shittiest. The worst ability of communication. Yeah, the worst communication to their audiences, because there were so many ways that Xbox was driving value. And you look at the quality of titles in Game Pass, the quality of titles and support via backward compatibility, game preservation, accessing your library, cloud saves, cross saves, smart delivery. And they just didn't sell it to people. And somebody really does need to pay the piper on that, because yes, they lost the most important generation in last generation. They really did.
Yeah.
But they did so many things right by consumers that they just didn't talk to people about in the right ways. And they could have done something special. They really could have. And so I really am disturbed, frustrated by that. And I've talked several times across several shows. I don't remember at this point, but I stopped being an Xbox fan somewhere along the way. And I realized, no, I'm a fan of Gears and Halo and Doom, and I'm a fan of the games now. But Xbox as a brand has burned a bridge, whereas they were building my bridges for me for so long because they were bringing me value. And now it's just it's a different state. And so I don't believe that Xbox is dead. I really don't. But I do think they need to get their content to more places, and they need to showcase why their content is special for a lot of reasons.
Well, a really good way to do that is to shut down your movies and TVs system by making sure that you can fully focus 100% of your assets into movies and TV, or no, into video games. Because I don't know about you, but when I look at my Xbox, I don't think, man, I can't wait to sit down and start watching TV on my Xbox. That's what my TV is for.
You're alluding to the fact that Xbox killed movies and such this past week.
Alluding would be a good way of putting it. Yeah, the movies and TVs. So if you guys didn't hear about this, I'm not surprised, because none of us heard about it until we got the message from Xbox being like, oh, hey, by the way, that whole movies and TVs app, we're just taking that out. We're just gonna take that out. We know that, like, you liked looking at it and stuff like that, but you guys didn't want to use it, just like the Zune. And because of that, we're just gonna take it away. You don't want the toy, just get rid of it. We're doing a garage sale on all of our apps, and we're just gonna get rid of movies and TV, because that was not something that anyone actually utilized.
Are you bothered by that?
I am, as a means of having all of entertainment under one box, as an under the TV box. I think that having movies and TVs as an option is good. I know that there's a lot of people that mostly just subscribe to streaming services.
I was going to say, like, why? There's so many options that Xbox provides you. It's literally their model for other platforms too.
Right, but they also serve you through their platform as well. And taking out movies and TV, because for me, like, I had movies and TV. Movies and TV lets you tie in your Movies Anywhere account. And I have I actually still have and use to this day one of my Apple TVs, because years ago I got sold on Apple TV. I was in the full Apple ecosystem. I've purchased a lot of media through Apple, and I've connected up my Movies Anywhere account, and all my movies, all my TV shows from my Apple are now available on movies and TV. And then that way, wherever I go, it's all just associated to movies and TV. With movies and TV stopping, then I lose out on the opportunity to capitalize, like Freight Conductor says, buying things as cheaply as possible. Because as long as Movies Anywhere is connected to the multiple ecosystems, it doesn't matter where I buy it, because ultimately that account will serve me the best.
That is literally what Xbox is doing with their Ally.
Yeah.
Buy it wherever, and thanks to Windows or whatever, you're going to be able to merge. Now, I'm not saying that's the way that it's good, that will sell allies. That's not what I'm saying. But that is literally the model that they are going for the future. And that's why I'm saying, like, I hope Steam Deck gets on board so they can compete with that, because I'm not rebuying games at a certain point. At a certain point, I'm putting down one of my devices to go to where I get it the cheapest. Because I do the same thing as Freight Conductor. I love the fan. Actually, I call it Voodoo, but Fandango at home.
Yeah, everyone used to do Voodoo, because that was what came with it was either Apple or Voodoo for a lot of like DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. You got your digital library that way. And then they kept getting bought out and sold, and then eventually moved over to like Fandango. I used Fandango for a while, but I find the Movies Anywhere to be a better experience. I don't really like the Fandango app that much personally, but it's one of those things where I used to go in and browse through movies and TVs when they would have sales. And every once in a while, if there was something that I was like, yes, I absolutely love this, I want to own it, I will buy it here, and that way I can at least have access to it, because a lot of my library right now is still in DVD form. Like I never yeah, it's all in DVD, because a lot of that stuff isn't available, and I wasn't going to rebuy it when Blu-ray came out, and I'm definitely not going to buy it rebuy it in 4K. So
what's not available? There's like 6 movies that aren't available.
Well, no, I mean, like, I'm not gonna move. Well, so availability is more in line with the features that are added to certain movies. Because back when DVDs were popular, they used to put a lot of content in DVDs to sell them. So you'd get director's cuts, you'd get behind the scenes, you'd get artwork, you'd get vignettes.
It's all digital now.
It's all some of it is, but not all of it. Like there's things that were on the Tron DVD that have not been made available since. So unless you had the Diamond Edition Tron DVD, those things don't always translate. Also, the way that they translate a lot of those just don't really like come in. So it's one of those things where, and yes, I see you people judging me because it's DVD, but you know what? When you invest thousands,
what do you have a physical player?
Yeah.
Why? That's I know what you
I have an Xbox. I have a PS5. I also have like okay. So first off, all of the people that are and anyone that is giving me crap right now, if you've ever championed for Xbox to sell physical games, you guys need to shut up right now. This is one of those.
It's like 3 people. Online.
People are. But no, it's one of those things where I have a large DVD library still. It's still just a library that I've held on to. I've had to get rid of a lot of the cases for moving purposes, but it's something that I'm not willing to give up, because there's some stuff that's out of print and you can't get anymore. So, and I'm talking not like mainline games. I'm talking about like smaller ones. Yes, I have looked at Plex. Yes, I have in the past ripped all of my DVDs. And yes, I have had them on a server. I moved away from that just because of sheer size of my actual like library. Like I have well over like 250 DVDs that I had ripped. So it's one of those things where I didn't want to. I have some of those, and I didn't want to get rid of them. But through the digital system of like movies and TV or Apple TV or movies anywhere, Amazon, I was buying stuff little by little for like some of the stuff that I wanted in higher resolution that I would watch and whatnot. So that's one of those situations where it's like having the movies and TV app removed takes away one more ecosystem where I was getting deals on movies that I wanted digitally at a higher resolution that would slowly replace my DVD collection.
I'm sorry you and at least 3 other people have lost access to this.
We always champion about like how people, I was like, we always champion about things being every play. Wasn't the 2025 theme play games where you enjoy them?
Yep.
And shouldn't that cross over to TV and movies as well? Because it's entertainment, and Xbox taking away one more thing from Xbox gamers is just another, like, first the Zune, then Mixer, now movies and TVs. Soon it'll just be games in general. And then we're going to be sitting here with our Microsoft Word and our Outlook and our Copilot 360 thinking everything's swell and we still love Microsoft. Get out of here.
Okay, that was a fun little like diversion, but I dig it. I'm going to loop us back to the core element for our audience for a moment, because it does suck that movies and TV is going away, as it's something that's lost for consumers. That part does suck. Big picture, though, I kind of marketed this episode as like, how is Xbox really doing? Like a pulse check, because I'm going back to it a little bit. Is Xbox actually dead? We saw 9,000 people from Microsoft overall be laid off, and this happened across the tech industry as well. But of course, we cover Xbox. A lot of people in the Game Pass space. You saw, was it Project Blackbird being canceled? You saw, Everwild being canceled. Romero Games' contract was cut from Microsoft. You saw a bunch of people at Turn 10 go, be let go. So Forza Motorsport kind of now becoming a dead franchise, essentially, to be supporting a Forza Horizon, which is I think okay for now, because Motorsport and Gran Turismo style games are niche. Horizon a bit more approachable for the masses, as it were. You have people coming out like the people at Arcane saying Game Pass is the reason that this is happening. It's a bad thing. Others saying it's a good thing. Whatever it might be, Xbox is definitely bearing the brunt of some bad public facing elements here, just as PlayStation and Nintendo have in recent months as well. But how is Xbox actually doing for the consumer? The Xbox, I truly believe the Xbox is dead, as it were. Not to say that it's gone, but it's not a thing that's going to generate sales. But Xbox itself, I think, is serving the consumer pretty well in 2025. And this is not copium. This is not hopium. This is not me trying to rally a cry. I just want perspective. It sucks that these jobs are lost. It sucks that these things are happening. But the common consumer is completely unaware at all that this is happening.
The common consumer doesn't even know Xbox is still making games.
Yeah, they're looking at a storefront.
Yeah, they're buying Xbox through PlayStation 5. That's what the common consumer is doing.
I tend to agree with you, but I do want to point you to what's come out in 2025 and what's available for Xbox gamers. If you're on Xbox or PC, you had access to Avowed early in the year. Pretty darn cool. Doom the Dark Ages hit multi-platform. And by the way, Avowed was an 81 on Metacritic.
I put some stuff in the show notes, by the way, about that.
I got you.
Okay.
I'm with you. Doom the Dark Ages was an 83 and hit all platforms, included in Game Pass. South of Midnight, a 76. That's on Xbox and PC. Oblivion Remaster, all platforms, an 80. Tony Hawk was also first party, all platforms, 82 on Metacritic. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, an 80 on Metacritic. Those games all hit Game Pass and are first party. Then Game Pass itself also served its audience by giving Expedition 33, which is a 93 on Metacritic. Space Marine Remake showed up on Game Pass. You had FBC Firebreak. You got Grounded 2 imminently arriving into Game Pass. Gears Reloaded is going to all people that have played Gears Ultimate Edition on Xbox, but also it's arriving into PlayStation. Call of Duty, of course, is on the horizon. Outer Worlds 2 on the horizon. Mixtape, High on Life 2, Winterboro, Hollow Knight Silksong, and then very immediately we're having Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers arriving as well. There's a lot of really good things that Xbox has been giving to the consumer on the consumer side. I mean, shoot, to your point about stuff that you put in the show notes, Avowed roadmap looks good. They just put in new weapons, new stuff there. I really liked Avowed, by the way. I really did.
Yeah.
It's the right size game to get games out faster also, which is something that needs to happen.
It's not a 60-hour game is what you're saying. You're not.
The chase of a 60-hour game means the demand of a huge AAA budget, which we've seen Xbox is not willing to pay for most titles. So yeah. I don't know what that means for State of Decay and Contraband and Hellblade 3 question mark.
Is Contraband still a thing though?
It is. It just put out.
Sure?
I don't know. No, I'm not sure. I thought it was dead, but then they're hiring. That's something nobody else is doing.
Like, I don't know, weird. Man.
I wish it wasn't. I wish we would have kept some of the other products, like Blackbird. I think the market would have used really, like in the wake of Destiny passing, in the wake of some of these live services kind of arriving to their finality. It would have been cool to see another one enter the space.
What are you talking about, Destiny? Destiny passing?
Yeah, Destiny's the latest expansion didn't even hit final shape elements or final shape numbers. The concurrents are down over and over again. The expansions that Destiny was using to bolster its base, you get a nice little kick up and then you even back down and you got a nice little boost there. No, this latest one tanked it. And I think a lot of people left Destiny at the conclusion of final shape. And there's numbers to back it up, which I don't have in front of me. That's not their fault. That's just the market.
No, that is their fault though, but because they marketed the final shape as the last expansion.
I apologize. I thought you meant the consumer's fault.
Oh no, God no. Okay. The consumers still want more Destiny too, but the Edge of Fate, like Destiny 2 is not going to die because they clearly have.
Yes, it is.
No, dude, they need that. No, they're gonna find a way to keep bringing people back. But it's one of those things where like Destiny is moving away from larger expansions and they're going to be releasing more expansions like further down the line. So their content's going to get smaller. But I agree that I don't know that this expansion really did anything for anyone because it's not during the typical season for when people expect like their expansions to come out. Typically they do them in the winter, with I think Lightfall being the exception here. But with Edge of Fate, it's like they're going to iterate, they're going to continue to work, but there's no way that Destiny is going to really like shut down at any point. Like they have, like Marathon is still like a thing that we hope will come out.
Marathon is a disaster. Marathon is a disaster in the making, and truly it's not good. But I mean, you look at Steam charts, Todd, I don't know where you're getting that number from, my friend.
Steam charts don't tell the whole story though.
No, they do not. But it is a metric among many, right? And you have a live service shooter made by Bungie, which is one of the steadfast studios in the industry, June 2024. And I'm on Steam charts right now, which is again a metric, not the metric. I'm not arguing it. This is just an indicator.
Most PlayStation, most Destiny 2 people are on PlayStation, like hands down.
Okay,
that's their largest market, with Steam coming up after.
Okay. Nonetheless, my point is illustrated comfortably. June 2024. So this is last year. Peak players 314,000. First of all, that's incredible. Most games would kill for that. June 2025, 38,000. Right? My point is that Destiny is dipping pretty comfortably. Now, it's up a little, down a little, like any game would be, right? Like you can go up and down, but year over year, Destiny's numbers are dropping. Year over year, Destiny's numbers are dropping. So I'm not dunking on it, but I'm saying it's in its swan song. And respectfully, I think Sea of Thieves is too.
So pushback on that. June 2024, that was the final shape. Yes. That was Cade 6 coming back to Destiny. So it's not very fair to say like, well, a year ago, Destiny was high because, yeah, everyone wanted to see Cade come back. A year later, we're just now getting the next expansion. People are just now getting into it. We won't know like how things are for Destiny until after this first raid.
Let me ask you this, because they did some Star Wars content recently, right? From what I understand, didn't bump the numbers too much. Are we anticipating that? Like, what else could they do? Cade 6 has had its return. The final shape was the thing. They've done free compilations. They've done so many things. What could they possibly do at this point, short of Destiny 3?
Well, they're bringing in new characters.
Does that bring in new players? That's what I'm thinking.
Well, it won't right away because no one has like you have to build up these characters and people have to find out about them and they have to grow to love them if they're written well and things. So the story is moving forward, but the story is a fresh start for a lot of things. They just recently had earlier this month, they just recently did a full like announcement diving into like the giant revamp of all their gear. Some diehards are not happy with the way that their new armor system is going to be working, as they're looking to incentivize players to jump into seasonal gear and ditch their old gear because there's going to be a healthy bonus to damage that's associated with it. It just depends, man. Destiny is shifting, and like an ever growing games as a service title, there are going to be highs and lows. World of Warcraft had like 10 years of lows before they started to come back with Dragonflight, and they started to pay closer attention to what the community says. Sea of Thieves is going through a lull right now, and I'm hoping that they'll be able to do something. But if you look at like the Sea of Thieves numbers, Sea of Thieves should have been dead after Pirate's Life when they didn't come out with a Pirate's Life 2. But it's still trucking and they're still pushing. So I don't think there's anything that Destiny 2 can't do. I think everything that they're doing is still improving on the system. There's nothing wrong with the game outside of just balance and tweaks and quality of life stuff. But the characters and the stories are still unique. They're still adding new characters. They're still bringing in, things to the world and moving beyond just what is the Traveler, what is the, what is the void. Like there's stuff that they're doing, but it's not stuff that is like big and flashy enough to justify mainstream attention. And we see that with games as a service all the time. How many people do we know that play Elder Scrolls Online? Elder Scrolls Online is still one of the biggest games for Bethesda. How many people do we know that are playing Final Fantasy 14? Final Fantasy 14 is one of the biggest revenue streams for Square Enix that we know. So it's like, is Destiny like dead? Is Destiny like is it dead? Should they just push everything in a marathon? No, because it's not going to die. It's going to kill itself before it gets killed by anything else. It's just one of those things where we're outside the circles in most cases to point out and say like, okay, what are they going to do? They could do whatever they want, but a lot of it's going to come down to letting go of old characters and embracing new characters with good story. And
which would happen better in a Destiny 3. That's my point.
Would it though? Yes. What would a Destiny 3 do that a Destiny 2 isn't?
The same thing that Grounded 2 is allowing people that didn't jump into Grounded or any other sequel. This is giving people a fresh start as opposed to having to worry about playing catch up, as it were, worrying about vaulted items or whatever. Destiny 2, much like Sea of Thieves, is too daunting to the new player to jump into. That's the problem with some live services.
So counterpoint, if you start off fresh you lose all of that built-in player base that you had. If Sea of Thieves 2 came out and they said, hey, fresh new world, fresh new pirates, all different ships, new islands, new adventures, and new factions, a lot of people in Sea of Thieves would be like, I've invested like 8,000 hours into this game. I'm not going to leave my character behind because you wanted to create a sequel.
But I think the genuine and general experience would be greatly improved by a Sea of Thieves 2 or a Destiny 3. You must leave the Xbox One and PlayStation 4s behind before PlayStation 6 and whatever happens next. Yeah. So that is my thought. And what better time than the launch of a PlayStation 6 or whatnot to leave some of those behind. I genuinely think the Destiny fan base is done with 2 en masse. And I think Sea of Thieves, like right now, I and you know I love it, bud. I got I think 900 some odd hours in that thing, which is light to some, but like whatever. That's a stupid amount of time to spend in anything, right? They're ready for new. And like it needs to be. They've tried Destiny or Sea of Thieves was not in a great place for a long time. You've lamented it many times on this show. The same can be said for Destiny. It's not like Travis isn't. We talked about Travis earlier. He's talking about it aplenty. Skill up's down on Destiny, but yet that's your biggest champion.
Paul Tassi is the biggest champion.
Paul Tassi was somebody I once respected. Long story there, but my bigger point here is because we really got into the weeds talking about Destiny, as it were, but it's an indicator that some things need a fresh start to bring new fan bases, and some of this old tech must be left behind. It just must.
I think you can phase out stuff, but I think that I think we're speaking to the bleeding edge enthusiasts in a lot of cases. I would genuinely still like to know, like worldwide, what is the general like hardware that most people are using? Because we see the reports come out from like Steam that talk about like, okay, well, they have metrics on what hardware is commonly being used for their games. And the level at where people are gaming on console or on PCs is far lower than where most people making podcasts about games talk about what their specs are.
Agreed.
And I think that also translates over to hardware as well for consoles. I think that there are still someone was in a Twitch stream. I think it was A-Chicks came in and they wanted to play Sea of Thieves, but they owned a PlayStation and were like, well, just head over to the store and buy it. And they're like, I don't see it. And it's like, just type in Sea of Thieves. Just type in Sea of Thieves to the store. It'll pop up. You can download it. Turns out they're on PlayStation 4 still. They don't have a PlayStation 5 years into this ecosystem, and they still don't have a PS5. Sea of Thieves doesn't support PS4.
Nor should it.
But that's one of those things where it's like, dude, that's 130 million consoles out there that may or may not still have active players on it. And that's one of those things. It's like, I'm not advocating to stick around on older gen hardware. I don't think that that's necessarily the approach. But the reality of it is that there are still quite a few older consoles still in use.
Yes, because nothing is forcing that community to upgrade. You have to have things to push people to upgrade.
Well, Sony not having games first off is part of the problem. It's all their best games were released on PlayStation 4. So there's no reason to do that. But I don't think that a Destiny 3 warrants jumping into a 3 with the legacy that they have for 2. Like they've been doing Destiny 2 longer than they did Destiny 1 because there were just engine limitations at that point. I don't know with the engine that they have right now if they are currently limited on what they can and can't do. That's the reason why Sea of Thieves hasn't moved to like Unreal Engine 5 is because everything that they can do is still available to them in Unreal Engine 4. And the Xbox One, according to them, is not the thing that is causing performance issues. It's the servers.
I don't know how to like we look at a lot of what's holding generations back, what's holding gaming back, and I will staunchly say it's CEOs getting massive pay scale elements and whatnot. I don't think AI is the death of gaming. I think it's CEO bloat and pay and such, and messaging. But when I look at people that are on old tech, there's a lot of financial reasons that happens, and I'm not disputing that. However, you have to give them a reason to upgrade. If people can upgrade their phones every year, because that's what they've been taught to do, there is no reason they can't upgrade a console every few years. You just have to give them a reason to.
I've seen reports that people are holding onto their phones even longer than the normal cycle. Like people are holding onto their phones. No, that's the point that I'm making, is that the article was stating that a majority of people have been holding onto their phones far longer than the average 2-year cycle that contracts were back when Apple was like releasing new things. Like phones have stagnated as far as feature sets go. Like speed and quality has started to plateau.
Correct. There's no reason to do it. That's what you have to give people a reason to upgrade, but they've been taught they could do that if there was a reason for it. Now it's just pixel counts. That's not a good reason.
So I see where you're getting here, and I think that the argument then comes down to is what is hardware doing right now that it can't do, or that would justify pushing a game into a new iteration? Because as far as I can tell, like Destiny 2 still running on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 is fine for people. If they drop those and move to a Destiny 3, then they're having to forecast out their game development for the next 10 years ostensibly. But they're it's clear that they're focused on Marathon as their next title, and that's the next gen game for them, when it should have been Destiny 3 because they had a loyal fan base there. And they're going to hurt, which means that they're just going to have to keep plugging away at Destiny 2 indefinitely until Sony decides that they are going to absolve Bungie and absorb them into other teams and get rid of Bungie as a result of Marathon failing. Marathon succeeds and they move over to Marathon, and then Destiny 2 goes on life support till the team that's working on Marathon gets bored and wants to make a Destiny 3.
Marathon's dead, bro. I'm telling you, it's just dead. Like Marathon as we currently know it is not coming out. They killed Concord, rightfully so, mind you. They killed Concord 2 weeks in, which was the right decision for all the reasons. Not a single person in the masses knows what Concord was or is bothered by its cancellation.
Ains would slap you, and it would hurt.
First of all, Ains is 108. He's got arthritis. Okay. Secondly, no one knows what Concord was except people watching shows like this. It's just not a thing. It's not a thing.
In mainstream, yeah, I'll agree to that.
So the loss that PlayStation took, which was massive, was not nearly the loss of that it could have been because of mind share. So and like this isn't a Destiny conversation. This is a culture conversation.
Yeah,
it's and you have to reinvigorate your culture if you want to increase your fan base. All right. Because we continue to get derailed here. Xbox in 2025. I have to I honestly don't think Xbox is doing wrong by its consumers in 2025. I think it's doing wrong by a lot of things. There's a lot of problems with it. I'm pissed at it. And I've already told you, I'm done being an Xbox fan. Have been done for a while now. But I do think it's doing great by consumers and giving a lot of value in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So I have to celebrate that, because just like I'm talking about Concord being dead, it's not like I'm worried about Everwild. Like nobody was going to play Everwild en masse. It didn't look like it was going to happen.
Well, that's because we didn't know what it was.
And so no one should be upset is what I'm saying. The only thing we should be upset about is that we've been strung along and that money was wasted that could have been put into other things.
I think that's why everyone is upset.
It's
because we were strung along.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, that's the thing is like when you look at Rare and everyone wants to assume that Rare is just the Banjo-Kazooie company at this point. They don't actually care about what Rare makes right now. More people care about Banjo-Kazooie than they did Viva Pinata or Cameo. And it's just like, what's Sea of Thieves? Is Sea of Thieves a Rare game? I thought that was just a game that existed. So like when Everwild came out, more people were upset that Everwild wasn't a Banjo game than it being whatever it is, even if it was one of those things that it could have been really cool. But the fact that we never got to find out what that is the thing that's like, that kind of sucks. It's like being told that State of Decay 3 is going to come out and then for years and years and years, and then have them being like, no, yeah, it's still going to be a thing. And then some time passes, someone gets a wild hair about AI and they're like, all right, State of Decay 3 is canceled and the studio's getting shut down. It's like, what? Why?
Wait, what? State of Decay is not canceled.
But that's my point is like that announcement has yet to come, but it could easily come at any time.
I think what I'm irked about is the communication. Xbox is arguably the best communicator of the big three, PlayStation being the worst communicator. They're just the worst communicator.
In what venue? Because I think their marketing sucks.
Whose venue?
In what means of communication are you talking? Because Xbox's marketing sucks, and that's what you talked about earlier.
Correct. I think the bar's just low. What I'm saying is Xbox talks to their fans a lot. They don't send consistent messages, and they don't do a good job at staying consistent with their messaging, but they communicate the most often. Maybe that's a better way to put it. The most often Xbox talks to their fans. They're at Tokyo Game Show. They're at Gamescom. They're at SGF. PlayStation, not at Tokyo Game Show for like 7 years running. They didn't have an SGF presence this year. Nintendo has some communication. So like the bar is low.
I mean, PlayStation had their state of play right before SGF.
Was it a state of play or what was the level? Like, because they haven't had a big showcase in years.
It wasn't a showcase, but they did a state of play.
They had a state of play. Is that the same thing as a showcase? Because I'm not counting it as.
Well, they don't do showcases anymore. Like Nintendo doesn't do showcases anymore. No, they do have stuff to show. It's just, I mean, most of their stuff is third party right now.
That's not their stuff.
And they just
that's not their stuff. That's stuff.
That's
not
their stuff. That's but I mean, okay, so they just had the Ghost of Yotai.
That's their one for this year. And they had to promise to their shareholders, we're going to do one big tentpole a year. That's a thing they had to say. That's terrifying. One a year.
Their pipeline sucks, but so did Xbox's at a time.
Yeah.
So it's just a lull in the development cycle.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure the point you're making and how it relates to them being bad communicators. Well, they're all pretty bad. I think Xbox.
They have been communicating. It's just it's not the communication that PlayStation fans want
or deserve.
But I'm saying like they are communicating. It's just not. We have the next God of War and Uncharted, and we're definitely making a Last of Us 3. And Horizon's been shut down, and we're putting all of our assets back into Killzone. It's like. There's a communication that players want, and there's communication that they're providing, and those two things are not the same at the moment.
Correct. Yes, that's to me. That's
they are communicating.
Not often. I don't think they communicate often.
Not as often as Xbox, which I mean is more
that's
to
what
your.
I'm saying.
More to your point. I'm trying to say that they do. And I'm trying to say like the other companies do. It's just they don't stick their CEOs out on a stage and tell them to go tell us about why it's still worth investing in their ecosystem, because their ecosystems are being served by people just showing up.
Gotcha.
Like, does Nintendo have to do anything, or do they just release Donkey Kong and everyone goes and buys it in the middle of summer where no one releases games?
Here's a weird thing too.
Yeah.
Bonanza's pretty good though, right? People are loving that, right?
I don't know. I didn't get to pick it up.
Metacritic was high, and it feels like people are really praising it because it's the Odyssey
Yeah.
team, and it's got some elements of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom in it.
Yeah. I mean, I will get to play it. I know it looks really good. I'm looking forward to it, but I took the Donkey Kong money and bought boxes. So
as one should. You made the right choice.
Yeah.
So can I ask a good question here? A message not being what you want to hear doesn't make it a bad message. In premise, no, but in practicality, for what we're talking about, I think it does.
I think that comes from expectations,
which should be set by the precedent and by the companies involved, right?
If PlayStation fans haven't seen the writing on the wall that PlayStation just they haven't been hyping any of their games up because there's nothing to hype. If they haven't like seeped that into their brain when it comes to a state of play, that is on them, because there's been nothing to say that this is something that will be exciting for first party. It's kind of like when Sea of Thieves announced season 17 for the Xbox showcase, and everyone was like, because every showcase before that has shown really good stuff. Like they've done really big things. This was the first time where our expectations weren't met, because every Xbox showcase, Sea of Thieves has done something unique and interesting, and they failed us on this showcase, and they said that our expectations were too high. But past precedent had proven to us that this was the time that we should be paying attention to Rare for Sea of Thieves. And Sony fans at this moment have no reason to feel like any of the first party titles, except for Ghost, are going to be coming out anytime soon. So you should not be having high expectations, which means that if you are communicating anything, it will just be to communicate what's coming from second and third party. And while that may not be what PlayStation fans want, they should understand that that is what you're going to be getting for at least the next year.
Your point is well said. I agree. I feel like we're both right. I genuinely do. I feel like we're both right.
I do agree that Xbox does communicate, but to your point, Xbox communicating is not necessarily the thing they should be doing.
Agreed. We agree on that as well. I think the communication is bad, and sometimes they need to not talk. But I also argue that sometimes not talking is a problem, and I think it comes from a failure of clear direction. To include Xbox and PlayStation here, by the way. They both don't know the direction of their future, and as a result, their fan bases are confused.
So let me pose it from a different perspective for Xbox when it comes to communication. Really good about talking about the games that are coming out. Really good about talking about how they have plans for their next hardware. Also, really like stuff comes out and it's like Xbox and Microsoft are laying off thousands of players. And it's like they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. They're saying really good honey-coated stuff with their games and their announcements and what's coming to Game Pass and their new hardware and Play Anywhere and all this stuff. And then they're like, also, we're shutting down all these projects. And it's like Xbox fans don't necessarily know how to feel about Xbox, because every moment that they get a victory, as soon as they're about to walk off stage, they turn to the right and they step on a rake. And it just kills the entire mood. And that is when you're messaging so much, you're messaging everything, and it's just a fire hose of information, and some of it's good and some of it's bad. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I would rather sometimes Microsoft just be very mum about things and not hype up as much, because it's clear they're not trying to sell consoles anymore. They're trying to sell Game Pass. And they have the games to do that, and they have to have that aspect of it. But
do you think they're trying to sell Game Pass?
What are they trying to sell?
That is a core question of what I'm asking, actually, because Game Pass has proven, especially this year, to be freaking incredible in terms of value. but I don't see them pushing Game Pass in lots of places. Now, I might be wrong.
That's
this is
fair.
me asking.
No,
I don't see them pushing it.
That's fair. They should be running deals.
All the time, every time.
Yeah,
right?
They should be throwing out like the dollar deal. Like that was something that was really, really well like received. I don't know why they aren't trying to push Game Pass as a like marketable product right now.
You got me. I truly, and that's where I'm going to the lack of direction, because Sarah Bond came out at our not SGF thing and was like, Windows. It's like, what? Like, that's not Xbox. Like, Windows gaming is not Xbox per se. It is and it isn't, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they're looking to bridge.
They're looking to bridge, and Game Pass is just, to me, it's just bar none the best. It's the best. It's the absolute best. But everybody's talking price hikes. Maybe the value in it is incredible. I mean, Expedition 33 arriving in there as a third party, Space Marine Remake as a third party, Gears Reloaded, Avowed, Doom, Tony Hawk, Ninja Gaiden 2, 4, Ragebound, like just Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. Like there's so much value in Game Pass. Why is that not the message in so many places?
I think because they tried and plateaued. I don't think that they failed, but I think that they plateaued.
I agree they plateaued. Yes. So if you're not selling your box and you're not pushing your service, what are you doing? And that's that's where I'm going back to messaging. What are you doing? What are you trying to sell? What do you want people to buy? What is it just buy the game? Because it's a Game Pass.
I think it's just the game now.
Well, what's Xbox? Again, I'm not an Xbox fan anymore.
No, man.
I mean, that's not declaratively, but you know what I'm saying? Like, well, what does it mean to even be an Xbox fan? I sure don't know. Thank you. Let's time it together. I sure as don't know. I just don't. I don't know, because they're can I have a beep? They are of a publisher, and they're awesome at publishing, and I'm really proud of a lot of, like, being a fan of a lot of their games.
Yeah.
I don't care where they are. I genuinely do not. I want to play with my buddies, right? When I'm on Rivals, I don't care that Joe's on PlayStation. When I'm on Sea of Thieves, I don't care if he's on PlayStation. If we play Grounded 2, I don't care what platform they're on. But I don't know what Xbox is trying to sell me. If they're trying to sell me Sea of Thieves, Grounded, sure, cool. But you're not selling me Game Pass, even though it's great.
Yeah. I feel like the studios that are under Xbox are doing well. But I think we, to your point, have to start looking at, because when I think of like Blizzard, that's Blizzard as a company. I look at their games and I'm excited about their games. I'm not excited about Xbox because of Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at Call of Duty and I look at Treyarch, and I'm thinking like, I can't wait for their next campaign. I'm not thinking I can't wait for Xbox to bring me the next Call of Duty. I'm thinking like, when is Treyarch going to do the next campaign?
Right.
And I think the same thing when it comes to, playground games. Like I've stopped, like there's been discussion about like whether or not it was worth, I think it was Xbox 2 podcast was talking about whether or not teams should be more known when it comes to studios. Mm-hmm. So like Xbox has, or like Nintendo has different teams that are working on different projects, but nobody really knows what those teams are. Whereas if you look at Sony has like Santa Monica Studios, they have Sucker Punch, and you know what those teams are working on. Whereas like Obsidian, they've got like 4 teams. And you know that they're doing a Avowed team, you know that they're doing Outer Worlds 2 team, and you know they're doing a Grounded 2 team, but we don't know what that 4th team is doing right now, because they came off of their last little small project, and now it's like, well, are they going to jump into another project, or are they just going to get assimilated in that? So it's like all of these things, like those all kind of start to separate and start to like compartmentalize themselves when it comes to IPs and games. And at no point do I sit there and think like, oh, I'm excited for Xbox to bring me this, because I have Game Pass. It'll show up wherever it shows up, but I'm more excited about following the individual teams now than Xbox in general. Xbox, I think at this point, isn't trying to sell consoles. I think they're going to push they're going to push hardware with like the handheld partnerships. But I think it's definitely a lot more about just focusing on the teams, focusing on the games. And Xbox Game Pass just happens to be the service that you can get access to them.
Well, the Happy Cloud Gamer says they're selling an ecosystem, but to what you're just saying, that ecosystem is not everywhere. They're trying to get it to be, but that's where I go back to like, I'll talk about my Steam Deck or your Switch. They're going to log into Minecraft. Yeah, they're in the ecosystem because they have to log into their Xbox account. Sea of Thieves, they have to log in. Is that what they mean? Is that ecosystem?
Yeah, I guess a better clarification would be what is ecosystem? Because when I think of like the Nintendo ecosystem, I think people that own Switches. When I think of the PlayStation ecosystem, I think of people that own PlayStation games. I don't think about the Steam access to PlayStation in there. When I think of Xbox's ecosystem, I think of like people that play Xbox games on Xbox app on PC and then Xbox consoles. So, but I would say that they are definitely better at selling their games on other platforms where they haven't previously been available, and that they are just giving folks who are dedicated to their prior ecosystem access to them early through Game Pass.
Man, when I think of Xbox, no, let me back up. When I think of Nintendo, I think of Switch and Mario.
Yeah.
Right. And all the stuff that comes with it. When I think of PlayStation, I think of God of War and PlayStations. When I think of Xbox, I think of Halo and Gears. But Halo and Gears are available in other places, PC, and then Gears soon to be on PlayStation. It's that ecosystem is just shifting. I just don't know what to expect. And I don't honestly, here's the thing. The reason I think the messaging is frustrating is I don't think they know what to expect either.
Well, they've been changing it every 2 years.
That's the problem.
It used to be day one Game Pass, world exclusive. Then it turned into oh gosh, I can't remember what it was before Play Anywhere. What was the thing that they were touting before that?
Windows for games for PC, games for Windows. Is that what you mean?
I don't know, but like every couple of years, the showcase has like a theme, and this year's theme was Play Anywhere. Whereas a while ago it was like day one Game Pass, and then a while back it was like world exclusive.
It was a world premiere,
or
whatever it was. Yeah,
like you're beautiful. You know,
it's those. Yeah,
but it's like the messaging, at least for PlayStation's like we're going to have exclusives, and that's shifting, but that's because. Because if they had a better pipeline, if they had planned out their releases and it wasn't Jim Ryan trying to shove everything into PlayStation 4 and the end of life so that he could get a good bonus out of like saying that he successfully pulled in the best generation PlayStation has ever had, then we would have probably had like God of War 2 could have been like console exclusive to PlayStation 5 and it would have sold gangbusters.
Yeah,
Spider-Man 2 was not it as much as people wanted it to be, but I think that's because they've just been remastering stuff. But like PlayStation, like you go to PlayStation because it has exclusives and third party, and that's their message, and they've stuck to that for so damn long that it's now a hindrance because they don't have first party to showcase as much.
Yeah, the one thing that amidst all of this, because again. We're the Xbox expansion pass, but like really we just cover games now, right? Because Xbox is games. That's cool. Like maybe that's the message, but it lacking an identity sucks. Counterpoint, they managed to survive a brutal generation and they're not going anywhere. Right? Like they're not going anywhere. They're going to more places, and as a result, lacking their identity, but they're still a thing. They're honestly. The best comparison is Sega. And I'm not saying that in a bad, negative way, right? But like there was a long time where Sega's identity was the Genesis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was the Genesis. It's like, are you a Genesis?
Well, that was
Nintendo. And then like they had cool systems and stuff, but like not many people. How many people had a Dreamcast? For the record, I love it.
Sega's issue was that they were pushing hardware faster than they needed to.
I'm not saying the problems are the same, but what I'm saying is the parallel is the same. Sega's identity now is JRPGs and Sonic. That's their identity now. Yeah. Right? Like it's what is it? It's Yakuza, Sonic, and what's the Persona? Is that it?
Yeah, Persona.
That's Sega's identity now. That's what's happening to Xbox. Gears, Halo, Forza, or whatever. It's, you know what I mean? Like Minecraft, Sleep. What my point is, it's not a box. It's not about the box. That's what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Sega's identity isn't the Genesis. It's Sonic, Atlas. It's not a box. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree to that. I think Xbox needs to, and unfortunately, I think they're trying to hit a moving target right now, because I feel like they are struggling to justify their existence to Satya, who, for whatever reason, like is pushing. Well, I guess every tech company right now is pushing AI. Satya is looking at the next frontier, and you can see it when Phil Spencer's like tentatively saying like, hey, we think bringing AI to developers would make things easier for them. And that's them trying to like say like, yeah, we'll totally work some AI into our initiatives and support, you know, your desires to have AI be front loaded into Microsoft as the next, you know, tech frontier to invest in and stuff. And I think because of that, you're railing against gamers who don't want AI in their games because of the idea that artists are losing their jobs behind it, and that the work isn't going to be as good or quality or unique. And a tech company that's looking at how is AI going to shore up jobs, it's going to improve accessibility to things that people don't have access to, like coding, information sourcing, things like that, and become better beings. That you're running into a situation where I feel like Xbox is consistently trying to move under unsteady ground. Like they're trying to find their footing on unsteady ground right now because their hardware's failing. Game Pass is doing great, but it's not jumping in numbers,
not growing. Yeah,
it's not, the growth is not there. And they're still making more money than they were after COVID, but it's not as good as COVID. So they've like they're having to justify what's going on, and I think that they're making so many shifts to what their messaging is that it is disorienting. Whereas Nintendo's like, hey, we got to Switch 2 and there's games coming out, and that's it. That's like, we're not going to say anything else. We might try to throw Doug Bowser under the bus by justifying a $90 game, but that's not going to really play out too well. And also game keys are stupid for pretty much everyone. But
no, they're not.
No, I know. I'm just, but that's the sentiment. That's the sentiment that's coming across. I actually think game keys are a better solution than just a digital code. It still sucks that it's not just a physical thing though, but I understand the reasons behind it. But PlayStation's been mum. They haven't said anything. They're not trying. Sony's not trying to sit there and be like, we're going to bring AI to the next Sly Cooper, or, you know, that was a bad example, but the next Spider-Man 3 is going to be made purely in with AI initiatives. It's like there's no weird messaging coming from the other game consoles that are making you feel like there's someone above Sony and Nintendo that are pulling strings right now. It's like, Nintendo just makes amazing games, and that's what they do. They don't lay people off. They don't. Yes,
they do.
But they don't announce it. You don't hear about those layoffs. You know, those layoffs probably happen.
That's Japanese culture. Remember
hide the body.
Years ago,
don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it. Put them in, don't give them an assignment. Wait till they quit. Like that was there was a big expose on that 3 years ago. Can I make a comment on AI?
Yeah.
And before we wind down here, because I know we're about to wind down. So I've had a lot of conversations about AI in the last 2 weeks as a result of some of the projects I'm doing with education right now, because AI is going nowhere. and we've got to teach people to work and understand it. So the analogy that I gave some educators the other day is, you don't get, like, we've been working with screwdrivers. You don't get mad at the power drill for replacing screwdrivers. It's a silly thing to do because the power drill is allowing work to be done far faster and more efficiently, and let more be done. That's AI. But what you can't do is forget to teach people how a screw, a drill bit, a screwdriver, and the wood all interact, right? Like what the actual process is going on there when you use a power drill or a screwdriver. You cannot forget to teach people the critical thinking that goes on in it. When it comes to AI game development or AI technology, you cannot ignore that it can make projects more efficient and faster. You can lament the way that it's being pushed out, the way that it's being worded, utilized. You can lament that the way that people are messaging so much of it, and the sacrifice that's being done because people are double speaking at a C-suite level about it, right? That part sucks. But it as a tool to help product efficiency is fantastic. And SoConnect correctly putting out there, I'm going to quote SoConnect here, I just want people to understand that there are different types of AI and not a blanket statement of no AI. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. AI is not inherently bad. It is a power drill. Power drills have made construction very efficient compared to just basic screwdrivers.
I think I can push back a little bit on that, though, because I think your analogy is missing an important key here.
Please.
It's not that there's someone using, it's not that there's a construction worker using a screwdriver to screw in a screw and then switching tools from a screwdriver to a power drill. It's someone using a screwdriver to screw in a screw, and then a power drill appearing and then screwing in the screw for the person, and then them letting go of the person because the screw is the power drill is doing the work for them.
But that's the difference. That's what I'm talking about with C-suite messaging and leadership style. Like,
they are firing artists to replace them with AI assets.
But that we're talking about different types of AI. AI is going nowhere.
But I'm saying, like, you're saying that it's okay to accept a power drill over a screwdriver. I'm saying don't let the power drill replace the carpenter.
Yes, that what you were saying, don't let it replace carpenter. Correct. But as a result of power drills, there are fewer carpenters. That is part of it. And so you have to adapt. You have to adapt the workforce.
That's still letting go of jobs, though.
Yes, but yes, that is part of it, though. And I don't mean to talk down to you. I was almost like, that's part of it, Logan. But think about railroads being laid. At first, there were massive amounts of jobs as railroad was laid to cross the nation. But once machines were able to put it in there, jobs were lost, and the workforce had to adapt for it.
Yeah,
that is what I am saying has to happen. What should not happen is corporate doublespeak, lying to people about what their roles will be. What should not happen is CEOs making exorbitant amounts of money, people at the development level, the carpenters, as it were, making bare bones minimum while not being trained for their next thing. And then they're out of a job with no skill set because AI has replaced them. That is baloney. And that sucks. What I'm saying is we should not speak as AI overall and say no AI ever. That doesn't make sense to me. So no modern medicine ever. What?
The issue that I run into is that AI in one iteration is being used as a replacement for artists, whereas you're speaking to artists should have AI tools to help increase their productivity.
Correct.
The corporate wants to replace jobs with AI. They don't want to make tools with AI to improve the quality of life of the artists. That's what people are upset about. Mm-hmm. C-suite execs are looking to shore up cash to get better profits for better bonuses by taking away jobs and just letting machine learning do the work for them with varied responses. Whereas true AI should be allowing artists to have tools developed to make their job efficient. That's the power drill to screwdriver analogy. And I don't want to leave the C-suite execs saying we want to get rid of jobs because we think machine learning can do it for them out of the conversation. I think that's
exactly
important.
No, and I think that the way you've articulated has comfortably brought together the points that are being made, because we can't have these blanket no AI statements. That's like saying no modern medicine. No, like that's very silly. But you can have systems and policies in place so that the artist's job is more efficient. But no matter what, with efficiency will come slimmer workforces. The baloney part of it. Can I have a beep here? The bull part of it is when you are axing people left and right to replace them just because, and that is not okay. Like that is not all right. But you're with efficiency will come fewer positions, and those positions must diversify.
That's something. Yeah, that's something like I always go back to Jurassic Park as an example of this. This happened to the movie industry back in the 90s. It happened to the car industry like forever ago when they started making machines for it. But when Jurassic Park was coming out, all of Jurassic Park was initially going to be done with stop motion graphics. Like all the dinosaurs were going to be stop motion. They decided to go with CGI at the time, and honestly, I swear to God, Jurassic Park still holds up as one of the first. But you look at that, and they did a blending of practical and CGI, but they kept all of the stop motion people when they were transferring over to the CGI, because they still needed like the short reels, the animatics, the like the thumbnails, the moving thumbnails to do like the blocking of where they wanted the CGI guys to come in and say like, okay, so yes, the industry is going to, in gaming, the industry is going to change and diversify its tool set to include AI. It is very much going to be one of those things that if you're not learning AI right now in your industry, you are going to get left behind.
Agreed.
And that is unfortunately the fact of the matter. It's just when we talk about AI and we talk about art and audio, like voice work, those are two things that AI can comfortably replicate to where it will impress C-level suite execs to start pushing that those are the solutions to an ever-growing cost to games, because voice work and art are two of the higher, like outside of actual like engineering, those two fields tend to be paid the highest because actors get paid a lot for their voices. They have a lot of rights to it. You still have to retain those rights throughout the lifespan of a game to be able to pay off royalties or however the contracts worked out. Whereas if you have AI, it's like you don't have to pay an AI audio actor royalties on a 10-year-old game.
Right. And good points. All right, my friend, let's start wrapping up here. We do need to answer a couple questions here. First one being Todd Oxtras asks us, is it time to launch the cloud tier of Game Pass to grow the audience beyond PC or Xbox owners who don't use Ultimate? Fidelity and latency is always going to be the thing here. What server racks are we using, Todd? I think that's kind of your answer there. Is like, is it GeForce Now comparable? Because I love me some xCloud, right? Like if I could access my Xbox library on my Steam Deck with cloud and it worked well, yeah. But like I got to go through hoops. So it depends on which servers you're using, because if you're going to give them the best, then yes, it is time. If not, no.
I still maintain that Xbox saw the writing on the wall with cloud streaming when they agreed to sign off the rights to Ubisoft for their EU acquisition of during the acquisition of ABK.
And Ubisoft just crushing it right now.
So good. I can't wait for their new studio that was definitely not founded by nepotism.
Oh my gosh, I saw that. But you know what sucks about that? I was going to very briefly sidetrack. I freaking love two Ubisoft games of late, being Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's my game of the year right now. So good. I absolutely love it. And then Prince of Persia was so good last year. And honestly, Star Wars Outlaws, very, very good game. I need to go back to it. Like, their games aren't bad. It just sucks that they are. Yves Guillemot needs, honestly, just kick him right in the shin. Diarrhea.
So weird.
Yeah.
As far as like as far as the cloud streaming stuff goes, I would be okay with this, but the biggest issue that I have is that there's not parity between console and PC when Xbox is talking about parity between console and PC. When it comes to playing online with friends, cloud saves, stuff like that, like all of like cloud saves in multiplayer are still locked to Game Pass on console. Like Game Pass Core is still a requirement. Because H came by for my birthday for 4th of July weekend, right? And she was going to sit down and actually play Sea of Thieves. She didn't bring her gaming laptop because she figured I've got a console. So like I've got consoles for days. So no reason to really need her to bring her laptop if she can still play Sea of Thieves at my place. Logged in to her Xbox profile. She doesn't have Game Pass right now because she plays through Steam on pretty much everything, right? Can't play Sea of Thieves without a Game Pass access on console, even if you own the disc.
Oh, core. Right.
You have to have Game Pass. And it's one of those things where I'm like, we are still tied to some very anti-consumer like systems within consoles that I look at and I think this is why PC is the master race, because you can have cloud saves for free. You can have multiplayer for free. And it's like, man, this is the issue that I rail against when it comes to like console play. Happy Cloud Gamer coming in saying that Azure is getting new PC server blades from AMD for the next generation X Cloud, which if that's the case, that'll be great for them to be able to help shore up some of the latency. But I don't know how that is going to improve the actual, like, will that actually improve the consumer facing aspect of this with latency? Like, will people's internet at home be good enough for this next generation to be able to justify cloud streaming? Because that's, to me, the ultimate question is, what is the consumer facing aspect of this? Will it help improve that? And I just don't know.
Yeah. Fair. What else? Do we have other questions? I know we did.
Todd wanted to know if we had any Game Pass, or not Game Pass, any Gamescom Xbox predictions, and then like maybe the launch date and price for the Xbox Ally, which we kind of had like some hints or teases about what that was going to be.
Yeah. I think makes sense. 1,000, 800 and 1,000 is what I'm predicting. Ally at, which I've said it, like I've got stuff ready to trade in if GameStop does it. Like that's what I'm hoping happens. But 1,000's baloney, and I'm not a fan of that number.
Like, but you're basically buying a PC. You're buying a handheld PC, and a decent one at that. So $1,000 for a handheld PC is actually not a bad deal. It's just not. You have to break that mentality of like, it's a console. It's $500. Consoles have been $500 for like, I don't know. It's more expensive to a long time, but now it's like, okay, well, what is the cost of a console? It's like, okay, it's like,
what is an Xbox? Who are you marketing to? Are you marketing to PC people? Or are you marketing to console people?
Well, if they get console games to start working on PC, I'll be a lot more interested, because Steam has controller access for most of the games that are through there that are like mainstream titles, whereas like for whatever reason my console library can't translate over to PC. So maybe that's where cloud streaming will come in and bridge the gap.
I just don't know. I don't know if $1,000 thing that's Xbox branded is gonna work. Not that the $500 one worked. I'm just like, what is an Xbox?
It's a funny. We couldn't sell these things at $300. What makes you think you're going to sell them at $1,000?
You got me, man. I don't know, but I know I want one, because I want to experience that traversal between the two, and I want to cover it for the show. Just to be blunt, like I want to be able to cover it for the show, but I'm not going to use, like, right now everybody's money's tight, right? And people just funded us going to LA. So I'm not asking for anything. And our Patreon is serving to keep the podcast floating, right? Like StreamYard and like that. I'm not using Patreon funds to buy $1,000 device to play the same games. You know what I mean? Like, just to be blunt with our audience, like, you guys got us to LA and we're grateful. I'm not using it for that. Like, and I'm not going to buy $1,000 device with that money. I'm going to use it to keep the show going.
Yep.
It's just not a thing. So we'll see. We'll see if Xbox does, if GameStop or something like it does trade-ins for my Series S, my Switch, some controllers, like, and I can knock that number down, then maybe because I turned 40 this year for my 40th birthday, right? Mm-hmm. We'll see. Mr. Glass has a question for us. Will the next generation of console hybrid comes out? Are they still going to play anywhere like the Series S and X? There's got to be a solution to that. I don't know what they'll call it, but it should be play anywhere. Everything should be play anywhere at this point from Xbox, because if they're going to be a hybrid device, it needs to be. That'd be my thought.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think letting go of past games without some sort of, play, backwards compatibility, I think would be a huge misstep given how accessible Xbox has decided to make their hardware, which is honestly the boon. The fact that, most of the library from the Xbox One and 360 and OG are available on my Series X through disc. That is just something that more emulates what a PC offers than any other hardware out there for consoles. Like PS5, it plays PS4 games, doesn't play PS3 games, definitely doesn't play PS2 or PS1 games. You can use those through cloud streaming if you want to pay buku bucks through their PlayStation Plus program. But if I have an Xbox 360 game and it isn't like a licensed title or something, I can probably throw it into my Xbox Series X and play it. So whatever their next system is, I hope that functionality is still available, because it's something that I think is a boon to what Phil Spencer has said in the past as an important aspect of gaming, is retaining that history and making sure that old games don't die because of hardware.
Yeah. Logan, I feel like we've covered our bases here, my friend. Anything that we've not talked about that you wanted to bring up before we bounce out of here?
Actually, let me double check real quick, because I do want to just highlight that Game Pass does have some really good stuff coming with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 are out. High in Life
too. It's good.
Have you been playing? That's one of the questions I wanted to ask. Have you been jumping in? Have you gotten a chance to go get Doom Guy?
Oh yeah,
been playing with Master Chief.
Still terrible about it. I've not. There's Master Chief in it. No, there's not.
There's photos. There's photos.
Oh, that's got to be a mod. No, I've been playing it, but not a ton. It's really good. It's just really good. It's just that I'm not good at it, but I love it. It's like a comfort food. Jump in, do a park or two, jump back out. It's really fun. Like, that's a perfect Game Pass game for me.
Good.
Yep.
High in Life is back on Game Pass Ultimate PC and Standard, with the sequel coming out later on. RoboCop Rogue City is out. Abiotic Factor is a survival game, kind of like Grounded, if you're looking for something to jump into as far as survival games. Keep an eye out for Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, as is the new Souls-like. And I think that's it. Did we decide if Xbox is in the positive or negative this episode? I feel like checking the pulse, their messaging sucks, in my opinion. They talk too much about stuff to be high on things and then immediately step on a rake afterwards. But as far as like a consumer perspective, I feel like Xbox has been serving me really well this year.
I think if you're an Xbox consumer, you should be happy. You should be very happy. Like, there's no way for me to logically, as an Xbox consumer, be upset with what I am getting in 2025, what I've gotten in 2025. And frankly, 2024 wasn't too bad either. Like, being an Xbox consumer continues to be a very good thing. To pay attention to the greater, bigger picture, you get some red flags. You get some red flags. There's no way around it. An Xbox, the actual box, that's in trouble. But the brand, I don't know what it means anymore, but to be a consumer of it is great.
Yeah.
So it's a very confusing state to be in. And I think that confusion comes from being over-informed. People that are not informed are not upset.
Ignorance is bliss.
It is indeed.
And yes, according to Mint Blintz, who's renowned for his Halo clips, over on Twitter, is posted that Master Chief Petty Officer John 117.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Plays a goofy style, which is an interesting choice.
Interesting.
So yeah, Master Chief and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. Go grind.
All right.
I got you distracted. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
You did. You did. Sorry. I started
You're like, how do I find it?
Yes, indeed. Yes. All right. Keep an eye on XEP next week for an interview on a thing, which I'm really excited about. And then I don't know when Redacted's review, like,
soon.
Which you were both working on the same thing,
soon
but not
TM.
the same.
Yeah.
I don't know when that.
Which, by the way, we should honestly like spend some time together.
Oh,
Yeah,
you mean playing
Redacted?
it?
Yeah.
Yes. No, I agree. I put an hour in this morning. The problem is I have to play it on PC.
Oh, it's so hard. You don't understand why it's so hard to play video games on a PC.
I had to load.
You just plug in your Wolverine.
I did. That's what I did.
Good.
It was very easy. It's just like I gotta click it. It's got to load shaders.
Guys, I just wanted to hit the button and have it play the game.
Yeah. What's so hard about that? Console for life, baby.
Looks better on PC.
You put out a video on Bandit Trap this past week.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was a strange.
It's a fun game.
It's a fun game.
It's Home Alone. It's Home Alone in a funny, wacky way that was enjoyable. But they've got some good plans and some good ideas on how to take that game further beyond just launch. That I think it'll be fun to kind of see what people do with it. So hopefully people find it. Hopefully people get interested in it. Hopefully it doesn't turn into one of those other games like Knockout City, because I fear like that's how a lot of games end up these days, where it's a good game but just doesn't get the audience.
Yeah, I think it's DOA, which sucks because they clearly love that game. So
yeah, we'll see.
All right, Logan, tell me where to find you.
Keelhauled podcast coming out every Monday. It's the Athena week for a 2-week event right now. Reapers are coming up afterwards, and we just got our last update for that. So a bunch of stuff to talk about this week for Keelhauled podcast. If you guys are interested in Sea of Thieves at all. Otherwise, going to be playing the game that I'm playing and working on the review for that. Luke and I are probably going to. Do you want me to do the video? Because I can do the video for it.
For the review?
For the review, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, that is you're the right person to do that one anyway.
Okay. So yeah, working on a video for Redacted that'll be coming out soon in the future. That's about all I can really say.
Yep.
But hopefully people will care about it the way I care about it.
Find me on social at Insipid Ghost, and like and share to people that you think will love the content. Support the content creators however you can. That's going to be it for us. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Take care.
Bye.